Welcome back everyone, and for this video I will be reviewing the Super Figure Collection Victor and Emily from Tim Burton's Corpse Bride. I received these as a gift from my boyfriend for my birthday, and I'm very grateful to him for buying them for me. They're not too expensive, at least compared to other things like anime figurines that I usually buy, but they are more expensive than some prize figures out there. So these were $50 each. They stand about maybe 6 inches tall. But I do think they're a good size, and they look really, really good. I was honestly surprised to see some Corpse Bride stuff that wasn't like really cheap or cheaply made and actually had some thought put into it. Now, on the sides of the boxes, you will see that they have line work of each character, which is really cool. So the boxes themselves aren't just like a container like most US collectibles. They did put some work into making it look really cool. I love the studio photos of the characters on the side. And then here again, Emily looks so pretty. Honestly, I would have been fine with just her, but the fact that this is a figure that looks a little off if you don't get both. Obviously, I'm going to need to get Victor. But yeah, let me go ahead and start opening them. I will start with Victor, because Emily looks like she has a little more going on with her. And this is a series by ABYstyle Studio, which is a figurine or collectible company I've never really heard of. I honestly found these by mistake or just on a whim. While I was ordering stuff from Surugaya online, it got me thinking about some other collectibles that I really need to just go ahead and get because I've been eyeing them for years. And one of the things that I had considered was searching for, I believe there's one pair of Corpse Bride dolls that's in the market that released a long time ago. They're absurdly expensive though, because obviously they released years ago. Compared to Nightmare Before Christmas, Corpse Bride is not a series that I think makes companies a lot of money, or a lot of people remember too often compared to Nightmare Before Christmas. So obviously their merch is not going to be as expansive as Nightmare Before Christmas. I think. Oh, he looks good. So obviously he's pretty pale, and he's being washed out just a little bit. On the viewfinder he looks a little weird. At first I thought his teeth were his lips, but that's not the case. They did really well sculpting him. He looks really good. He has a greener tint, I believe. The World of the Living in the movie had a very gray tone with some green undertone, but in real life, the way they painted this, it does kind of look a little greener than I'm used to. So the blister is very easy to remove, which is nice. Right off the bat, this is a very light figure. I would definitely be careful with some of these smaller ends of the tree, and just in general, they're very light plastic. Here's the licensing on the bottom. Oh, and it does have a manufacturing code. That's interesting. But here we go. Overall, even though it's very light and kind of feels like it could be cheap, all of the detail put into it makes it look stunning. Well, not stunning. Just very, very good. I was not expecting this type of quality outside of Japanese manufacturers. A lot of American collectible companies just don't make that much effort, especially with properties that are just not as popular as their more mainstream stuff. Victor looks really cool. I do wish the shadows around his eyes were a little bit bigger. I like his pose. Like you could hang a ring on his finger. Love the little cowlick. So cute. And as you can see, the tree curves around. I believe it's intended to mimic the cover of the movie. In the background where they're standing, it's very visible that there's a tree behind them making that shape. I would say paint job wise, they did a really good job on the tree. But obviously you're going to be able to tell when it's not completely perfect with clothing. So overall, I think his outfit is fine. It's the pants where you can kind of see the paint job is a little bit sloppy, but it's really not noticeable. And if anything, I think it adds to the atmosphere that he's giving off. Here we have Emily. Oh, she looks so pretty. Get out of the way, Victor. You'll have your turn with your beloved. And yes, I'm aware that Emily does not get with Victor at the end of the movie. But if I had my way, she would have. Victoria wasn't a terrible character. She was a nice woman, but, you know, I just liked Emily more. I wanted her to have a happy ending, which she did, but, you know, that took way more effort than it probably should have. But here is Emily. Oh my god, she is stunning. I will say that she is stunning. I love her face. I think the smile is a little too upturned. It kind of looks a little off, and I can tell that her paint job is not completely well done. They did not completely paint over her lips, so you can see the seam. That's something I think I can fix, though. I'll just have to take my time with it, and it should be fine. But other than that, her profile is really cool. They did a great job with all the blue tones in her face and her hair. She has an actual fabric veil. It's cheap fabric, but they found a really nice one to match the texture of the movie. Same with her dress. I love that they gave her an actual fabric dress, at least the skirt portion. That way you can pose her in a way that looks more hauntly. Let's go down to her bosom, the collarbone, her flowers, her arm looks great. And the texture of her torso, the torso of her dress, her ribs poking out, it's all there and really well done. You can see some seam lines in some areas, but overall, I think she's stunning. Then her bone. I love this. I almost wish she was a doll so I could pose her how I want. And I didn't talk about the bases earlier, but there is some weathering paint. I think with Emily's, they actually added a little bit more snow than in Victor's. Oh, never mind. I think it's just a case of, you know, they probably do the dry brush thing and it's different for everybody. The little branch at the front. And then the tree. So I love her. And $50 I do think is a little bit high, but at least with Emily, with how much detail there is in her, I'm going to say it's a fair price. Victor, but because you're making Emily and adding Victor as part of the pair, and if you make her $50 and him $20, I can see why that would probably not be a good idea. I don't know why that seems kind of high to me. Maybe it's because they are pretty light figurines. If I had to guess, they might go on sale later on. I'm glad that I received these as a gift, so I don't have to worry about it. But it's really up to you if you think these are worth it. I myself am kind of on the bridge, only because I feel like they'd be worth it if they were 30 or 40, even 35 or 40, but 50 is kind of pushing it, because in total they'll be $100 for both. That seems kind of high. If they were dolls, I think it would be worth it. We'll see if Monster High, if the rumors are true that they're going to be making an Emily soon, and hopefully I can get her if so, but we'll see. So the bases do connect. They kind of have this curve where they intersect, and so here's what they look like once intersected. Overall, I think the concept is really cool, and I am very, very happy to finally have them. Whether or not they're worth it for their price tag is really up to you. I do think they are, after thinking about it, just because there's not a lot of Corpse Bride stuff out there, and the stuff that is out there is a little on the cheaper side. Like, I think the stuff that I was looking at prior to realizing these existed were some, I don't know what company it is, but they also made figurines for Wow, I'm really blanking on the name of that series. I'll put the name of it on the screen, but when browsing toy stores, these are figurines that I would often see, and usually in addition to them, they had some Corpse Bride ones, but they were quite small, obviously very cheap, not very detailed. The fact that they put so much effort into Emily's outfit makes me think that she is definitely worth her price tag. And they make a cool display piece together. If you are an avid Corpse Bride collector, you could definitely make these the centerpiece of a shrine. So overall, I think the thought was there with these, and they're very much worth getting. So that's pretty much it. I hope you guys enjoyed watching. I will make sure to put the link to these in the description. They should still be available on Amazon, both as individual figures, but also as a pair. Thank you again for watching, and I will see you all in my next video.